You think you know what spirituality looks like. You've seen the images, the quiet monk sitting under a sun-dappled tree, the peaceful yogi in a silent Himalayan cave, the smell of incense and the sound of a distant bell. We have been conditioned to believe that finding God is an escape, a retreat from the noise, a place where the world can no longer reach you. But let's be honest, that is not your life. You don't wake up in a temple. You wake up to an alarm clock and an inbox full of demands before your feet even hit the floor. You don't live in a cave. You live in a world of gridlock, deadlines, and difficult people who seem determined to steal your peace. If your peace only works when the room is silent, it isn't peace. It's just a temporary lack of noise. And that is why the most sacred conversation in human history, the Bhagavad Gita, did not happen in a monastery. It didn't happen in a peaceful forest. It happened in the death zone between two massive armies, ready for slaughter. Imagine the scene. This is Kurukshetra, a vast, dusty plain in ancient India. The air is thick with the scent of iron and sweat. Thousands of war elephants are trumpeting. Millions of soldiers are clashing their shields. The ground is literally shaking under the weight of impending war. This is not a metaphor. It is a massacre waiting to happen. Why would the divine choose a war zone to teach peace? Because the ancient sages were realists. They knew that your life is not a meadow. They knew that from the moment you were born, you were under assault. Your responsibilities, your fears, your doubts, your family pressures. They are all soldiers lined up against you. By setting the scripture on a battlefield, the Vedic masters were delivering a message to you. Right now, in 2026, spirituality isn't about escaping the conflict. It's about learning how to stand in the dead center of the chaos and find an indestructible light, right there, in the heat of the fire. In the center of this chaos, we find a man named Arjuna. He is the greatest warrior of his age. He is elite. He is disciplined. He is powerful. But as he looks across the lines, he doesn't see enemies. He sees his own cousins, his uncles, the teachers who taught him how to hold a bow. He is paralyzed by a moral crisis so profound it shatters his identity. We call this burnout. We call it anxiety. The text calls it vishada, a total existential collapse. Arjuna drops his bow. His hands are shaking. His heart is racing. He says to his charioteer, "I cannot do this. I would rather be a beggar than fight this war." He wants to do exactly what you want to do when life gets too heavy. He wants to quit. He wants to check out. He wants to run away and pretend the war isn't happening. But his charioteer, Krishna, who represents the higher intelligence residing within you, doesn't offer him a hug. He doesn't tell him to take a vacation. He looks at his friend and says, "Stand up. This self-pity does not become you. Pick up your bow and fight." Why? Because running away is a trap. You can leave your job. You can leave your city. You can leave your relationships. But wherever you go, you take your mind with you. If you haven't conquered the war inside, you will find a new battlefield in every peaceful place you go. To help him understand, Krishna gives Arjuna, and he gives us, the most powerful map of the human soul ever designed. The chariot. Look at the image. The chariot itself is your body, the 5 horses pulling it. They are your senses. They are wild, they are powerful, and they are always hungry. The first horse is lust, not just physical, but the insatiable craving for more. The second horse is anger, the fire that burns the reins out of your hands. The third is greed. The fourth is attachment, and the fifth is the ego. If these horses are not controlled, they will pull the chariot in 5 different directions until it is torn apart. This is why you feel fragmented. This is why you feel exhausted. Your horses are running wild toward every distraction, every notification, every toxic impulse, while the passenger, which is your soul, is slumped in the back, helpless. The reins, they are your mind, and the driver holding those reins, that is your intellect, your buddhi. If the driver is asleep, or if the driver is drunk on the world, the horses take the chariot into the abyss. You aren't driving your life, your impulses are. You are a passenger in a vehicle that is headed for a crash. Krishna's first lesson is simple. Wake up the driver, stop being a victim of your senses, and start being the master of your horses. But how do you fight when you are already exhausted? Krishna introduces a secret weapon called karma yoga, the art of high-performance action. He tells us you have a right to the work, but never to the fruit. Think about the weight that removes from your shoulders. Most of your anxiety comes from the fruit, the outcome. Will I win? Will they like me? What if I fail? When you fight for the fruit, you are a slave to the future. But when you fight for the sake of the duty, for the sake of the right move, you become a master of the present. You become the most dangerous warrior on the field because you have nothing left to lose. Your peace is no longer dependent on the scoreboard. It is rooted in your soul. This is the beginning of your training. The 100 Kauravas of your ego are already lined up against you. They are loud and they are many, but you have the driver at your side. In our next session, we dive into the secret of the silent companion, the one who has been with you through every defeat, waiting for you to simply ask for the reins. The war is already happening. It's time you learned how to win it. Welcome to the inner battlefield. Pick up your bow. I'll see you on the field.